You know, one of the funny things is, I talk about all these different things. That some things that could be better, some things that could be changed, that sort of thing in Star Citizen. But when people get kind of like hyper offended by what's going on in Star Citizen, to me it's always kind of funny because I look at other games, AAA games, games that have been out for years that are still going on, and I look at the shit that they're pulling, and I just think, you know, honestly, I can understand how you're miffed, how you're mad, how you're disappointed, but even with live games, it could be so much worse. I'll give you a quick example and then I'll move on. Recently I was having a talk with a buddy and we were talking about what classes to play in BFA, and he was asking me if I plan to continue playing my rogue, and I said, generally for me, I always fall between the rogue and the warrior. The warrior is looking exceptionally strong, but I prefer to play the rogue. I very much prefer to play the rogue. It's my warrior, he's big, he's brutal, he crushes stuff, love it. But, I've had my rogue, I've had her since Burning Crusade. Love her to death. Playing her is so much fun. And so I kind of, I always lean that way. But I told him, I said, honestly, right now, I'm looking at the possibility of the rogue class changes, them getting the rogue dialed in for BFA isn't even going to be ready for launch. And that's not just the rogue, that's multiple classes that are in that boat that can expect major changes between 8.0 and 8.1 because Blizzard simply ran out of time. They didn't allow themselves enough time for Battle for Azeroth, and so now I'm kind of dealing with a class that I could go invest a lot of time with and play, and then all of a sudden get faced with like incredible changes to the class that completely change the way it plays, and end up with something that I've invested perhaps months into, and then all that work is just kind of washed away. So, I think that when you look at things that happen in games like Star Citizen and you go like, oh man, FPS AI slipped. I mean, trust me, it could be a lot worse. And I think that overall, where we're at in 3.2 right now, like my experience playing it has been wholly positive. Are there nitpicks? Are there bugs? Are there things that I don't like? Yeah, but I mean, when I look at things and I say, oh, this is a problem, or I think that this should be changed, or I think that this could possibly be moved to another place, I look at like foundational things that aren't indicative of like a temporary problem, things that are transient, things that are only going to be there for maybe one or two patches and then they're obviously going to be gone. It doesn't worry me. But something that's more or less foundational, then I kind of look at that and I start to ask questions and I start to solicit opinions, very much in the comments to my videos. Getting into 3.2 though, I think has been a much better experience than obviously getting into 3.1. 3.1 was a disastrous patch. That patch was brutal. It really was. And I know that there's a lot of people who were playing it right in the beginning and were just like, nope, I'll check the next patch, and I don't blame you. But it was a brutal patch. I mean, I even made like a whole video series where I was trapped on Levski for what was it, 4 or 5 days that I was stuck there trying to escape, trying to get away. It was almost like an escape from New York situation. And truth be told, I'm still a little afraid to go to Levski right now. I'm waiting just to kind of get some kind of green light, like it's safe now, you can go and you can visit Levski, because I just don't want to go. I don't want to go there and end up stuck for like 5 days. And I had remarked that to another member of Scum. I was just like, I don't want to make another video series. Well, I'm trapped on Levski again, so I'm just going to wait and let other people go there. But overall, I've been enjoying 3.2 so much. And certainly more than I've been enjoying the 8.0 beta in WoW. I mean, I have almost entirely stopped playing that. I don't think I've touched it in, since before I went on vacation. Now, truthfully, part of that is the fact that I don't want to spoil the entire experience of kind of getting into the new expansion and you know, kind of going like, oh man, I've done all of this stuff before, like, and just not so much enjoying it because it's all new, and just kind of going like, oh, this thing again, and all that thing again, and all this mission chain is gonna suck, that sort of thing. But one of the things that I like, you know, bringing it back to Star Citizen is the fact that even though the missions are right now, they're being kind of generated by the mission team, there's enough variety and enough spacing in between them that even when you're just kind of doing these missions, like go pick up the illegal package, drop it over here at this safe house or Grim Hex or whatnot, it doesn't feel all that repetitive because you're going to different locations, you're going to different places. So even if I've done these missions 5, 10, or 20 times, I'm going to different places, I'm going to different locations, and there's enough of a difference with there being a dynamic live environment and different challenges, different people that you may run into trying to do the same mission, that it's fun and it's still interesting to me. Is it what I would I characterize it as a live game? No. A long ways to go on that front. A lot of gameplay features that still need to kind of come to life, but it's a much more enjoyable pre-alpha experience. And that's where I kind of want to get to the question of the video, the question that what I've been thinking in my head, because I saw recent posts that CIG had made. I think it was Jake from CIG was talking about the economy in the game and kind of where they wanted to set things, you know, how long it would take you to earn a various ship component and things like that. And I'm kind of at a point where I can play the game, obviously, and enjoy it. But at the same time, I kind of wish that the economy was a little bit more free-flowing with the money. In fact, I kind of wish that at this stage in the game, that it was a hell of a lot more generous. And the reason for that is where we're at in the game, we're not really in a live game environment, obviously. We're not trying to... I don't think that we should be trying to simulate that experience. I think we should be trying to get people out there buying all the different components, buying all the different guns, trying out different ship configurations, all that stuff. I mean, we should be kind of opening the floodgates. Now, I understand that that comes with it a certain danger, which is people may start to expect that, oh man, you can make 1 million UEC a day. This is going to be awesome. I'm going to have a javelin in 2 weeks. I'm going to be a baller, blah, blah, blah. It can set an incorrect expectation, but I think if you implicitly state that this is an overinflated economy so that you can get out and test as much different stuff, that you can walk into a store and you can buy every gun, every piece of armor, you can walk into Dumper's Depot, buy every cooler, every power core, every engine, everything, and just load up and then just try out all kinds of different configurations and see what you like and what you don't like. I think I would rather see us there than where we are right now. I mean, certainly I do have a lot of fun, I want to say, quote unquote, playing the game, but I kind of want to experiment more. And I feel that the current level of the economy, in my opinion, it stifles that. one of the things that I had been doing recently was I was experimenting with the Herald. A couple of users had made comments on the videos about using the Herald as kind of like a stealth hacking ship, and how could you go about that? Was that something I'd like to see? And it's definitely something I'd like to see. I mean, you know, me and stealth. I mean, absolutely, anytime, every time. And I was winding down my Herald, and I was going out and doing missions, you know, go and confirm, you know, the pirate mission, go and confirm that this person is dead. And sometimes NPCs, especially when those ships are in space, will spawn at those locations. And I was basically taking the Herald, and I was winding the power settings all the way down just to barely above, and seeing how close I could sneak in before triggering a reaction, that sort of thing. And I would look at it and I would think, oh, but I know that there's stealth rated shields and there's stealth rated power cores and all that stuff at Dumper's Depot. And I went and I looked at those components, because even though the differences, I guess what they show for the components' strengths and their signatures and whatnot are the normal operating differences, don't seem that great. But I thought, you know, when you scale it down, when you wind things all the way down, that could prove to be a pretty substantial savings in terms of your EM or your thermal signature, kind of keeping those things low and making your ship undetectable. So I wanted to experiment with that stuff and try different configurations of the ship. But the cost of those components, I looked at it and went, well, that's not going to happen anytime soon. So I don't know. I mean, I kind of feel like I want to, like, I wish that the economy were a lot more free flowing so that we could do those types of things. But at the same time, I understand that there are going to be people who kind of want it to be treated more like a live game. And they're just like, dude, you know how long I've waited for this? I just want to play the game. And trust me, I hear you on that. I don't think that there's anybody out there who's backed Star Citizen since, you know, well, God, when did I buy my Cutlass package? Like March 2014. I was kind of one of those people sitting on the fence and just eyeballing this thing, and then went, yeah, okay, I'll dip in and get myself a Cutlass. Yeah. Once again, first ship I ever bought in the game was the Cutlass. But yeah, I understand when people are like, man, I just want to play the game. I hear you. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who are like, yeah. But I kind of also want to test. But at the same time, I don't want to sit there and be like, you know, CIG, I understand that you're running this environment, but I would also like a test environment that I always have like 1 billion UECs so I can buy everything just for me. Thank you. Okay, bye. You know? While you're doing all these things, can you also do this other thing and maintain another environment just for people like me who just want to OCD test every component for every possible configuration on every ship that we can get our hands on? You know, it would be a nice thing to have in the future, certainly, but you know, I don't know if there is quite enough general interest out there to get a lot of people who would say, yeah, no, I want to see that. And kind of taking over the live environment, because so many people have been waiting so long and are probably kind of looking at the game and going like, dude, I just want to enjoy Star Citizen. And they might feel that kind of takes away from the experience. So I kind of get that a little bit, but I kind of wish it was a lot more free flowing at the same time. But once again, that's my opinion. That's my point of view. But anyways, let me know what you think in the comments. Would you like an economy that just threw money at you and just said, hey, go test everything? Or would you rather have things kind of slowed down and given more of a feel of a live, evolving game environment? I mean, how would you like to see it play out? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching. So if you want to keep up with the latest and greatest in Star Citizen and Squadron 42's development, please follow us on our social media channels. See you soon.